Hey there, traders. Welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to get to the point where I can retire by selling options. And so I wanted to kind of go over what you can do with certain amounts of cash. If you've got, $25,000 here is what I'm going to show you. If someone is starting out with, how much they can make, and setting a goal of maybe like $750 a month, $5,000. So I'm going to go through picking a stock and seeing what we can do with that and see if we can hit that goal. And you can extrapolate, if you're a retiree and you've got 25 and you've got like maybe $100,000 to work with, well, you can do 750 times 4 then, which would be $3,000 a month. If you have a $200,000 account, you could make $6,000 a month. And that's, I think, maybe being conservative. We'll see. Let's go through some examples here. I'm going to give the example of using SoFi as a stock. It's kind of popular these days. I'm not recommending this at all, but it's just a kind of a lower priced stock that's popular and it's got good premium. And what you want to do is do some technical analysis. And I'm not going to go into that in this video, but you can see the price has gone down considerably the last couple days. And it's gone back up. And I use the Bollinger Bands. And so for a put, if you don't own the shares, you want to start off selling a cash secured put and using your cash as collateral. And you want to usually do that on a down day because it's more likely the stock's going to go up and you won't be assigned the shares. And that's a little technical. We won't get into that today. But in this example, it's kind of high at the top of the Bollinger Band. It's not the bottom. And the Bollinger Band just means that usually if it hits the top of the band, it'll go back down to the middle. And if it goes to the bottom, it'll revert back up to the middle. So you can kind of see here what it's done. So this example is not something I would do unless it's, because it's not down towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band. But I'm going to use this as an example. So we're going to go to SoFi Technologies, and I don't own the shares, but I have $25,000 in capital to work with. And so I'm going to do a cash secured put. And that's telling the buyer that I've got $25,000. Your broker will set that aside and use that in case you are assigned the shares and you have to buy them. So as a put seller, you're telling the buyer, I'm willing to buy your shares at a certain price on a certain expiration date. So let's pick an expiration date. Today's the 9th. Let's go out to the 21st. That's 12 days away. And I'm going to choose sell put. And you're saying the price now is $28.40. And I'm willing to buy these shares if the price drops to, let's say, 25. Let's look at this. And you kind of want to look at delta. This is a delta of 18. That's pretty safe. I like to keep my deltas under 25. And what that translates to, delta means for every increase or decrease in the stock price, this option will rise and fall 18 cents. And what that translates to is the probability that you've got an 18% chance that the stock price will drop to 25 and you'll be forced to buy the shares. But if it does, you're buying it at a discount from today's prices and you're getting paid to do that. So you're getting paid to put your capital aside and wait for this to happen. If it doesn't happen, then you just keep the premium and you can do it again. If it does happen, well, then you are forced to buy the shares. And then what do you have? You've got the shares and you can turn right around and sell a covered call using your shares as collateral. So at $25, this put option is selling for 42. So I would collect 42 cents per share. Option contracts are 100 shares a piece. So you can consider this $42 that you could get, and it would cost you $2,500 here. So if you've got $25,000 and you divide that by $2,500, that means you can do 10 contracts. So if I select this and I say continue, and I can put 10 contracts in here. So at the price of 42, I would get a credit of $420. They take out a little bit of regulatory fee, so it comes to $419.58. And so I could put this trade on and collect $419 in 2 weeks. So let's put that in the sheet. Covered call, strike price 25, delta is 18. Premium 42 cents per share, and I can do 10 contracts. Expiration, just round it up, say 2 weeks. It's actually a cash secured put. Total capital required then would be $25,000. Total premium would be $420. If we put this trade on and it goes to expiration on November 21st, if the price goes below 25, then I'll be obligated as the seller of this option to buy the shares. The price is currently $28.40, so I'll be happy to pick these up. You have to make that decision for yourself and do your research and understand the risk. Now, I could make more premium by going up to closer to the money, which is closer to the share price. If I went up to 26, that would be a 25 delta. That means I've got a 25% chance that this would go down into the money. So a 1 in 4 chance. I could collect $65, but I wouldn't be able to make as many contracts. So that's if I've got $25,000 at a price of 26, that would be $2,600. I can only do 9 contracts. So let's times 65 as the premium times 9. That's $585. Now, if you really are into this stock and you don't mind owning it, you want to get paid, you can sell right at the money. And there's a very high likelihood that the price will go from $28.40 down to $28. So the value of this option is more. It's $137. So let's look at that. If we've got $25,000, we divide that by $2,800. We can do 8 contracts. So 8 times 137 is 1,096. But let's just be conservative and let's go back down to the 42. There's much less likelihood that this will drop below 25, and if it does, we'd be happy because it's more likely to go up because it's gone so far down, and you collect less, but it's safer. And if it doesn't, then what you do is you just keep the $420 and you can do this again. Let's say we were assigned these shares after the expiration of this, the price went down to like 24, so it's like a $4.40 difference. What I would do then is go sell call, and I would go like another 2 weeks out. Let's pretend it's the 21st and we'll go another 2 weeks out. Then what I could do is go to a safe delta. You have to kind of have a plan and what your risk is. And let's say I want my deltas to be under 20. So let's look for that. It's 26. That's too high. This one's 23 and this one is 20. So that would work. A 32 strike price, I could collect $40. So after the cash secure put, we would do a covered call. Strike price 32, delta 20, premium is 40 cents per share. So what I'm showing here is that you can do this like twice a month. You can go out 14 days here, 14 days here, that would be a month. So you collected 420 here and you would collect 400 here. Plus, if the strike price went above 32, you would get that appreciation. Now I'm showing current value is is 28.40, and we went down to, and the price went down to 24. So at the time when we're doing the covered call, the price might be around 24. But let's just say we pick these up for like 28 and the price is 28.40 now, and we want to go back up. So that would be like, let's just call that a $4 difference between 28 and 32. I hope that makes sense. So that's a $4 difference times 100 shares. That's an extra $400. So appreciation, if the price does go up for your covered call above 32, your shares would get called away, but you pick them up at a price of, let's say, $4 below. So you collect an extra $400 there. But let's just eliminate that for now. Let's just say, the covered call didn't go beyond your strike price and you just collect the $400. You've got the shares and you just do it again. If it does, you might get some appreciation. But being very conservative, this 420 plus the 400 is $820. That's more than the monthly goal. And if there's appreciation, you get much more. So this is a very conservative amount, and things happen. Sometimes you're holding the bag and sometimes things go against you from what I've found. But this is just kind of an example that I've found that for every $25,000, I can collect about $500 to $750. So if you've got like a $400,000 account divided by 25,000, that's 16 times like 750 for every $25,000 you got. You can make $12,000 a month, and then you can go full time at this. But if you're just starting out and you've only got $25,000 to work with, I would say $750 a month that you can make extra. I don't know anybody in this day and age that wouldn't be happy with an extra, $750 a month and putting their money to good use. So again, it's good to set up some goals, work with the capital that you have, and set up some rules. So in my Discord, which you can join for free, I do have some rules that I'm putting together, and that has things for entries for like delta for puts and calls. I want to start using a delta that's pretty safe of 0.25. I think that's a good balance between safety and the amount of premium that you can get, bottoming out or going up on the Bollinger Band, RSI less than or equal to 40. And these are technical terms that you can learn. I've got some videos that I'm going to be putting out on how to do technical analysis, but just goes over, how to set some rules and some goals for yourself to keep yourself safe and protect your capital, which is a big part of the game here when you're trying to make income. So I'll put a link to this Discord. You can join it. It's free. Once you join, there's an options beginner course, and it'll teach you everything you need to know as a beginner to learn how to trade options. It goes over all the technical analysis and delta and things like that in the Greeks. So yeah, I hope that helps. Conservatively, $25,000 can make you $750 per month. If you got more money, just add zeros. That's it for now, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.